The Pandavas, they directed their mind and their senses to the service of Krishna. What is that phrase? Rishikena Rishikesha. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. Bhaktir Uchyate. That is the definition of bhakti. That whatever senses they had and their mind, they directed it to the will of the Lord. Krishna, whatever you want, I will use my mind and my senses. It's not what I want that matters. It's what you want that matters. This is very important. Then see what they say. They can keep you under their control because you are causelessly merciful to devotees who desire no material profit from you. Indeed, you give yourself to them. And because of this, you also have full control over your devotees. The translation is beautiful, but the first paragraph of the purport is even better because it's all Prabhupada. See what Prabhupada says. The Lord and the devotees both conquer. The Lord is conquered by the devotees and the devotees are conquered by the Lord. Because of their being conquered by one another, they both derive transcendental bliss from their relationship. Imagine, in material world, if I try to conquer you, you try to conquer me, you think we are in transcendental bliss? We are not. We are fighting with each other. That's what's happening. We are very disturbed. If supposing I think my service is better, you conquer me with a better service, then we are in competition. We are not happy with each other. Supposing I put flower decoration now for Nityananda Trayodasi, then you come Gaur Purnima and you do something else. Then I come for Nrsimhadev Chaturdasi and I do something better. Then in that competition, we are looking at the flowers but we are forgetting Krishna. That is the problem. That is the problem. Because of designation, Upadhi. Upadhi means designation. The Pandavas had no Upadhis. They had no material designation. They were just ready to follow what Krishna wanted, and because of that, Krishna became malleable to their will. And because Krishna was malleable to their will, they became malleable to the will of Krishna. Snigdeshu. So therefore, Snigdeshu here is not only referring to the Pandavas. If you read 6:16:34, Snigdeshu also refers to Krishna. To Krishna also. And this is how they reciprocate with one another. So this is the point that is being given here. You see, when you see the devotees of the Lord, the Pandavas were ready to move with Krishna's will. There are so many devotees who did that. Pundarik is another example. You all have been to Panduranga Vittala? Some of you may have gone to see the beautiful form of the Lord, isn't it? And you know that the devotee Pundarik, he was so powerful in his devotion for Krishna, right, that because he was serving his parents so nicely, when Krishna came, because Krishna was so impressed by his piety, he told Krishna, Krishna, just wait for a while. I have to serve my parents. After I serve my parents, then I will serve you. So Krishna was very, very impressed because Krishna felt that he was so devoted in his service to his parents. So what did Pundarik do? He threw him a brick and he told him to stand on the brick. And after standing on the brick, he is known as Vittala, right? Vit means brick actually in Marathi. So Vittala is one who is standing on the brick. See how malleable Krishna was to the will of Pundarik. Because Pundarik had nothing in his heart. Srimati Radharani, for example, if you read all the pastimes of Krishna, who is Srimati Radharani? What is her position? Did she have a designation in Vrindavan? No, nothing. She was a simple cowherd girl like everyone else. She was not running after name, fame, adoration, puja, pratishta, nothing. She was just malleable to the will of Krishna. And because she was malleable to the will of Krishna, Krishna became malleable to her will. Which is why in half the pastimes of Krishna, Radharani dictates what Krishna wants to do. Isn't it? Krishna starts by saying, I want to do something. Eventually Radharani takes a different route. And Krishna takes a different route because of Srimati Radharani. So this is the mood of the devotees. Therefore, we must understand a very important thing. That if we want to really, really advance in devotional service, become malleable to the will of the Lord. And how do we become malleable? It is given in this shloka actually. In this shloka, Prabhupada writes in his purport, last part of the purport, Prabhupada says, the Pandavas were so malleable to the will of the Lord that they could sacrifice any amount of energy for the service of the Lord. And by such unalloyed determination, they could secure the Lord's mercy in any shape they desired. So what is the other qualification of a devotee who's malleable? Unalloyed determination. What a nice word. Alloyed means mixed. Unalloyed means unmixed. In other words, we are so determined to serve Krishna that we will not allow any impediments to come in our way. It is pure. There is no alloy. It is unalloyed. It is very pure. The metal is pure. There is no mixture. That is how our determination should be. If we are determined to serve Krishna, but there is some material motive, then it is not unalloyed determination. Very important. So a very perfect example of such a thing is Rukmini Mata. When Rukmini Mata was going to be kidnapped by Krishna, before that, she was going to get married to Shishupal, and she couldn't take it because her heart was already given to Krishna. What does she do? She writes a beautiful letter to Krishna. And she says, "Oh, Bhuvana Sundara." She calls Krishna Bhuvana Sundara. She says, Lord of the worlds. Oh, beauty of the worlds. Then she says, you must come and you must kidnap me. And she gives him all the instructions in the letter how to kidnap him. Her. You see, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Don't tell me he doesn't know how to kidnap someone. Right? But Rukmini Mata is so brave, so determined that she's saying, Krishna, you come and kidnap me. But you must kidnap me when I'm just coming out of Mata's temple. Why? Because at that time, if you kidnap me, minimum casualty there will be. Because she knew Krishna is very powerful. She didn't want people to get hurt. You see? So this is the determination. Prabhupada writes in Krishna book, right? He says, the determination of Rukmini Mata shows us one thing. Determination is the only price that you need to pay in order to purchase Krishna. There is no other price that is needed to purchase Krishna. And that is why when we want to have Krishna in our lives, we must be determined. Look at all of you today, how determined you are to wake up from Mangalarti and sit and tolerate the class. You're tolerating your sleep. And in doing so, you're tolerating the class. You're wondering, is it 5 minutes more? Is he going to stop? Is it 10 minutes more? When is he going to finish so we can stand at least? It's not easy. But you have unalloyed determination because you know this will please Srila Prabhupada. You know this will please Jagannath. And that is why you're doing. Doesn't matter. I will fight sleep. Hundreds of lives I've gone to sleep. One day if I lose sleep, what is going to happen? That is determination. Unfortunately, sometimes devotees are determined not to hear Krishna. That also happens. We are only determined to hear ourselves. What we want, that is Krishna. What Krishna wants, that is Maya. That is how we think. And that's very dangerous. So determination is very important. Prahlad Maharaj was determined. No matter how much Hiranyakashipu threw at him, he was determined. Parikshit Maharaj was very determined. No matter the fact that he was cursed, it didn't matter. 7 days he sat and heard Bhagavatam. Didn't he? Chitraketu Maharaj was very determined. He was cursed by Parvati Mata, but he was determined to behave in the right way and he sought forgiveness. Vritrasur was determined. Even though Indra was chasing Swargaloka, even though Indra had killed his brother, still he did not deviate from his devotional service to the Lord. So you see, unalloyed determination, Prabhupada writes there, that is what will make us malleable to Krishna. And one last thing that's really important, and that's how we will end today, is this point. The reason why the Pandavas are so exalted is because they performed all these services without material designations. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think it is Madhya Leela, there is that verse, the famous verse quoted from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam, Tad Paratvena Nirmalam, Rishikena Rishikesha, Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. The meaning is very, very nice. The meaning is the word Upadi, right? Sarva Upadi is very important. Because Sarva Upadi Vinir Muktam Srila Prabhupada translates as free from all material designation or free from all desires except the desire to render service to Krishna. If we are not careful, the greatest anartha that we have in our hearts, the greatest impediment to our devotional service is when we have upadhis. Upadhi means designation, and it means material actually. Supposing I need to do service, I'm supposed to do a service. I want to do the service only when there is a certain post, there is a certain position, I'm given certain facilities, or I'm acknowledged as a great devotee. When I'm given all that, then I'm very happy to do devotional service. But that is not how it's supposed to be. There should be no upadhis. We very often get caught by upadhis if we are not careful. Supposing we are all reading Bhagavatam together. When we are reading Bhagavatam together, our only designation is that we are servants of Bhagavatam. That's all. We should not be anything else. If we are now performing deity service, for example, everyone behind now are dressing the deities. They are dressing the deities not in the mood that they are dressing the deities according to their upadhis. If they do that, then eventually their services will be very disturbed. Their mood will not be correct. Supposing I'm giving class now. I should not be giving class because it is my designation to give class. I should be giving class because it is actually beneficial for me. That is what it should be. So if I were to sweep the floor, for example, no upadhi is needed. You saw Prataparudra from Chaitanya Leela. He was a king. He should not be sweeping the floor. But his upadhi as a king did not prevent him from performing the service. You see the point? Purushottam Dev, before him another king, he also swept the floor. But his upadhi did not prevent him from thinking that, oh, I should not be sweeping the floor. I just told you Vritrasur. Vritrasur was actually none other than Chitraketu Maharaj. He was a pure devotee of the Lord. And yet, he was actually put in the body of a demon because of the curse of Parvati Mata. But even though his upadhi, his designation was he was a demon, it didn't matter because his service was that of a devotee. You see the point? It doesn't matter how we look, what status we are, where we come from. It doesn't matter whether we know 100 shlokas or 1 shloka. That should not become the upadhi. It should actually be a form of service. Do you see the point? So, Vritrasur and Indra were in the same battle. Indra's upadhi was, I am the king of heaven. Therefore, I must win the battle so that I can actually win back heaven and secure heaven for me. So in the end, Indra was attached to his upadhi. And because he was attached to his upadhi, in the end, even though he appeared to win the battle, but he lost the war. Because even though Vritrasur was killed, he went back to Godhead. But Indra killed a great devotee, killed the Brahmana, his brother, and he could not even go back to Swargaloka because he had to pay for the sinful activities of what he had done. All because of his designation as King of Heaven. So the more we are attached to a designation, the more dangerous it is for devotional service. Supposing we think, I've been in Krishna consciousness for 10 years, that's an upadhi. I've been chanting for 15 years, that's an upadhi. I am doing, this service for many, many years, so I know better than you. That's an upadhi. Do you see? Another example of an upadhi is Indra and Prithu Maharaj. In the Ashwamedha sacrifice, Prithu Maharaj had 100 sacrifices. So he was king of the hill. Prithu Maharaj wanted to do 100 also. And Indra felt threatened. Why? Because of his upadhi. I am the only one who did 100. No one else should be on the same rank as me. And the moment Prithu tried to get his 99 moving to 100, Indra started coming to take away the horses. One by one, he came as a sannyasi This kind of sannyasi, that kind of sannyasi, this kind of sannyasi, and that kind of sannyasi. In the end, Prithu Maharaj got very upset. I want to finish my 100 sacrifice, but you're not allowing me to. So I'm going to kill you. Then the sages in the sacrifice said, you don't kill him. Why should you do that? We will kill him for you. And so they were prepared to kill him. When Brahma came and said, what's wrong with you? What is the point of the sacrifice? The point of the sacrifice is to satisfy Hari. You want to kill in a sacrifice. Thoroughly inappropriate. And Prithu, why are you so hung up about the number 100? Why is 100 so important? Why is 100 so important? Sometimes we take a vow. We say, I must chant 64 rounds. It's good. But don't make 64 an upadhi. Then it becomes a position. I'm Maha Chanter. I'm chanting 64 rounds all the time. Some people keep calling people and saying, have you attended Mangalarti? Have you attended Mangalarti? I'm waking up every morning for Mangalarti. Security guard also can wake up for Mangalarti. He can. But the point is, why are we waking up for Mangalarti? Otherwise, Mangalarti becomes upadhi. 64 rounds becomes upadhi. That is why you find devotees who are very, very strict. They can do wonderful Ekadeshi, whole day Nirjal. But then after a while they become very proud of it. I'm a Nirjal man. But that also becomes an upadhi. You see the point? It also becomes an upadhi. So sarva upadhi vinir muktam. If we want to actually take up devotional service, we should do it rishikena rishikesha. We should perform it for the satisfaction of Krishna, not for the designation of ourselves. That's very important. So in the end, this Prithu Indra conversation, Prabhupada writes,